Model was launched by my guest who joins me today in 2015, an initiative that asks every lawmaker to hold a one-day simultaneous meeting with constituents to report, listen and deliver projects. And joining me in the studio to review the 10th edition is the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. Recall that about 6 months ago, in the heat of the leadership crisis that saw him briefly removed from office, he granted us what was perhaps his first major television interview in recent years. Tonight, he returns live and beyond the headlines to speak on the Constituency Stakeholders Meeting, an initiative he launched a decade ago and which has now marked its 10th edition. There are also unavoidable questions about governance, his leadership comeback, accountability, and the future of Lagos politics. Mr. Speaker, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations on the 10th edition of this stakeholders meeting.
Thank you.
What would you say is the most important outcome you want Lagosians to remember from this year's outreach based on the feedback you got?
Well, let me start by saying we thank God for everything, that this is the 10th year that we have started this stakeholders meeting. And it was an idea that was born out of intention to serve our people, to serve our people whom we are representing in the House of Assembly. And it's also important to know that amongst responsibilities of representatives, I think representation is the most significant one out of it. We have lawmaking process, oversight function, and the rest of them. But representation is quite very important because you create opportunity for the people for interaction, engagement, conversation, through which they will understand what the government is all about and what they have been doing. And you, as a representative, the opportunity to do what we call feedback, to brief them all you've been doing and to listen to them as well as to their hopes and aspirations. And this is not limited to the people that supported you during the election, even those who were against you. You have to,
because you are representing the entirety of your constituency.
Even the man in prison, in the hospital, so you must. So that is why it's very important. And that was what informed the stakeholders meeting. And why we do it simultaneously, because we don't want to create time for this honorable member this week, and next week another honorable member, another. So that is why we said, okay, let's do it together, since we have different constituencies. And I think it has become a kind of a household name now. After 10 years, you have people, looking forward to it every year. So I think we are making progress. We are making progress, and it's something that has been very helpful, because most times the outcome of such exercise are being documented and given to the executive to make them part of their annual budgets.
Is it also open to the public, especially the things that your colleagues have achieved?
Yes, of course. It is. And mind you, in order to reach out to the people, we have a journal that we print quarterly, which states what we have done, and likely, as you know, for us is to make laws, represent, oversight. So, but I think what is missing is the support of the people. I think we are yet to understand what they call governance. What we do is to go out and vote, and immediately after voting, we surrender it all. And the parliament derives power from the people. And when you give power to some set of people, then you still need to give them that backup. You need to support them. You need to allow them to grow. If you go to the United States, you see the Congress is the most powerful, arm of government. In London, the Westminster, and that is why you see people going to these places instead of going to the executive side. I didn't say executive is not important, but if you go through the Constitution, you realize that the Parliament is being given enormous power.
Absolutely. This year's edition focuses on the gains of the Renewed Hope agenda. Would you say that Lagosians have really enjoyed Renewed Hope in the past 2 years, especially at the grassroots? I'm wondering if there are specific laws or motions passed by the House that can point directly to accelerating a Renewed Hope outcome.
Definitely. So we have been doing that regularly. We talk about resolution. Most times we've done resolution on issue of security. I'm sure you'll be aware of that. You have your some of your people with us, and we've spoken about security solution, and most especially urgent projects, that is on behalf of the people of particular areas. So we've done that by encouraging the executive to make sure such things are done immediately, and also petition mostly. where you have, confrontation, conflict over properties and the rest of them. And we have been doing this. I want to appreciate the executive on this, because most times after our resolve, that is resolution, they've been able to act on it.
There's a long-running debate about constituency projects, especially in the wake of autonomy for local governments. Some civil society groups now argue that you doing these projects blurs the separation of powers, that lawmakers should rather stick to oversight and lawmaking, not project execution.
Well, it depends on what you mean by constituency project, because we don't do that in the Lagos State House of Assembly. We don't dabble into the functions of the executive, because we cannot be legislator and at the same time executive. Because you are to supervise the executive, you are to watch them through oversight functions. But when we are not involved in the activities, so how do you do that? So we don't do that. What we do in the House of Assembly, like I said, during the stakeholders meeting, we listen to our people. Issues that has to do with project they raise, we now surrender it to the executive for them to implement.
So it is the executive that implement these projects?
Yes,
you gather at your stakeholders?
Yes, exactly.
So you're saying that lawmakers are not directly involved?
No, not at all, not in Lagos.
Oh, beautiful. That sounds good. How do you, because some have said that, perhaps the reference has been for national lawmakers. I mean, lawmakers both in the House of Reps and Senate who really do have these constituency projects. How do they keep the Assembly's oversight role robust while also sponsoring projects? Do you think they perhaps need to learn from what Lagos is doing?
Well, I think what they do is also similar with what we do at the state level. I've not heard or seen where any of them embark on projects making or construction of any project.
Perhaps it's the influence that they have over
exactly. Yeah, you have the right to influence as a legislator. It depends on the relationship between the House or an individual member of the House with a specific ministry. So you can influence. It is allowed you influence in the interest of your people. So I think that is what they do at the National Assembly as well. I've not seen or heard where each of them has been in charge of construction or otherwise.
How effective is holding the stakeholders meeting once a year? Because one would think that you are supposed to represent your people. You should always continually engage them.
Yes, it is everyday thing. I said it earlier on that representation is very important, and it's the main thing when you talk about duties of a legislator. But that's the annual thing is just an avenue to bring everybody together. To bring everybody together, to share ideas, to say the way you feel about it and the thing you think. Most times it's not about projects, it's not about tiring of road, construction of drainages and all that. But, you just want to hear from your representative as to what has been happening. And for the representative also to assure them by giving them hope that, well, we are doing well and we have more to do.
Indeed. Let us take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue this.